There's a lot going on with Team USA right now because they have players who are going to miss the Olympics and that need to be replaced. And we're going to talk about the replacements right after the bumper. Be tuned. What's good, everybody? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Formation. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, Team USA is in shambles right now. They have a lot going on. Bradley Beal is going to miss the Olympics. He's in COVID protocol. Sounds like he might have tested positive for the virus. Jermaine Grant sounds like he's in COVID protocol. Sounds like he might have tested positive for the virus. Kevin Love has decided he's injury prone. He's not going to play in the Olympics, so they got to replace him. And also their game against Australia. It was just an exhibition game, but it was another game. They got suspended, postponed, canceled, or whatever because of COVID protocol and guys testing positive for the virus. So, out of all of that, or what I just said, they're going to have to replace two guys, Bradley Beal and Kevin Love, on the USA team. And we're going to talk about some of the guys that I believe should replace Bradley Beal and Kevin Love on the team. Two guys that come to mind right off the top of my head are LaMelo Ball and Zion Williamson. LaMelo Ball and Zion Williamson. Why? Because LaMelo Ball, the problem with this USA team and the reason why they were losing their games early to Nigeria and to Australia is simply because they don't have a facilitator. They have a bunch of guys that are used to getting buckets. Dame Lillard, Jason Tatum, Bradley Beal at the time, Zach LaVine, Kevin Durant. But nobody that's like setting these guys up to get their best buckets, right? In years past, they would have Chris Paul or they would have LeBron James. Dang, I couldn't think of the man's name. LeBron James, Chris Paul, different guys that be facilitators, Jason Kidd in years past or whatever, to set these guys up to get their best bucket, right? And to get them, who's unselfish, not willing to look for their own shot, but to look for other guys' shots. That's what LaMelo Ball would do. He also adds a layer of athleticism and a layer of IQ and flash, right? This team needs some flash, needs some pizzazz, needs some star power. LaMelo Ball and Zion Williamson are the two biggest, brightest stars in the league right now, right? Zion is going to bring a level of toughness. He's going to bring a level of athleticism. He's going to be way quicker, even on the defensive presence. Now, obviously, Zion has his injury problems, right? Zion has his own problems with injury, and that'd be your only concern. If you don't go with Zion, you still need to get some size. You need to get a guy that's big. You need to get a guy that can run. You need to get a guy that can play the low post, right? Like, and bang with the bigs, a guy that can bang. And when I think about a guy like that, you have to take out a lot of the bigs that are in the NBA. A lot of the bigs that are in the NBA are either foreign, right? Like Jokic and Nurkic and all those guys, or they're not, foundational Black Americans. Like, they're not people that were born in the U.S. DeAndre Ayton of the Suns is born in Jamaica. The Greek Freak has Nigerian ties, obviously Greek ties, so he can't play your team. So now I'm thinking, like, dang, who is a big that was born in America that can help this team USA? And I'm starting to draw a blank, right? Like, I'm starting to really sit here and think maybe like a Miles Turner that's qualified to play in the Olympics. Also, I have to add that into who's like actually a legit player and qualified. Now, hell, if you put Kevin Love on the team, I think a guy like Miles Turner, I want to say Miles Turner was born in America, is qualified to play on this team. Miles Turner has size. Miles Turner can stretch the floor. Miles Turner is going to give you a defensive presence. And a lot of what's wrong with Team USA and why they lost those first couple of games because they don't have really a defensive presence, particularly in the low block. So Miles Turner gives you a lot of those things. I think Miles Turner would be a good replacement. I think if Jaylen Brown is healthy, he'd be also a good replacement. He'd be a guy that I look into. I think Team USA is going to be fine. This Damian Lillard news is going to be interesting because a lot of reporters after games, I'm sure they're not going to send Dame to the podium a lot now that this news is out that he could potentially be requesting a trade in the upcoming days. So I think that could be a potential distraction. But this team is too talented to not win the gold, right? Like, no offense to Nigeria. Nigeria is a team full of hoopers, right? Like, 6 guys on that Nigerian team is in the NBA. Obviously, Patty Mills, Joe Ingles, Matthew Dellavedova on the Australian team are in the NBA. The Spanish team, the team from Spain, have guys that are in the NBA. Luka Doncic is on a team out there, and they're going to have some tough competition. Like, it's not going to be a cakewalk. I'm really excited about the Nigerian team, by the way. I'm rooting for them. Go Nigeria. But this Team USA should not lose to those guys. No offense to those guys. No, we're not hating on their game. We know they hoopers. We know this is the European style ball, which plays into their benefit a lot of ways. We know a lot of them have been playing together for years. But this team, led by Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, Zach LaVine, should not be losing to them. Point blank, period. I'm sorry. They just shouldn't. Those are my thoughts, but those are some of the guys I hope to replace. I hope to see LaMelo Ball. I would love to see Zion Williamson and maybe even a guy like Miles Turner on this team. Leave your thoughts in the chat and in the comments. Who do you believe should be some of the replacements on Team USA for the Olympics this year? Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Peace.